Hi. Last update, apparently what I did was I said that I had a setback and I didn't elaborate on what that entailed. And so there are those who were concerned about what exactly that meant. And so I will elaborate on that and then update from there as well. So the setback was and still is that, okay, so at the time that I was doing the last couple of posts, things were getting real good real fast as far as I'm concerned. And so I was feeling a lot more energy every day, and, well, not a lot every day. I mean, to be precise with my words, I was feeling some more energy every day. I was forcing myself to eat some solid foods, and then what happened was my mouth became very, very sensitive to everything, really, including water. And so the experience that I had, the best way that I can explain the feeling that I've got in my mouth whenever I drink water, or, I mean, I don't even attempt to eat anything anymore, but so drink water, I'm, drinking a little bit of tea with honey, but it's like taking a match and holding it up to the skin long enough for the skin to register pain, and then taking it away immediately. So I know it's not going to last, but there's that instantaneous shot of pain that I have a sensation of, and it's all along the roof of my mouth and the sides of my tongue. And it's not like the sides of my tongue like we typically think of it, but further down my throat, the sides of my tongue. And so I was doing all kinds of experimenting the past week about different things that I could try to see, well, what have I done wrong? And then meanwhile, the fatigue, God, to say it went backwards isn't right, but it stopped going forwards, Now, the interesting thing about that is one thing that occurred to me is having come across the statement by Freud some years ago about the dreams being the royal road to the subconscious. And I thought, well, gee, I'm given a wonderful opportunity here to explore my own subconscious by recording my dreams and trying to make sense of them, and doing some studying on dream interpretation theory. And so that's been kind of a nifty little aside that I've undertaken. But meanwhile, I want out of this problem as soon as possible. And so I've been talking with a variety of people, and those of you who have approaches and thoughts and feelings that are different than the standard Mayo Clinic allopathic way of doing things, I really appreciate the input that you give, and I want to emphasize that, and that it's also my truth that I surrendered to the allopathic strategies some time ago when I went to the Mayo Clinic. And so I'm going to at least get to a point where I can eat things and do juices the way that Gearson Protocol recommends, and those kinds of things. In the meantime, my white blood cells are still below the minimum range. My red blood cells are below the minimum range. So there's a lot of immune system compromise that's going on. So I need to get back to at least a point where I have a minimum amount of immune system to fight off whatever comes my way. And regarding that, what I do in order to avoid any kind of flu or cold or anything is isolate. So I'm just hanging around the house pretty much all day, every day, staying away from people, because it's my understanding that flu or cold could quite literally put me in the ground. So now, one thing that I did that may have been backfiring on me is that, okay, so I used these little boxes of nutrition here. I got one right here. All right. These things here, I'm supposed to have somewhere between 6 and 8 of these a day, and I inject them into my feeding tube. And of course, part of the recovery is putting back on pounds, and so I thought, well, I'll do as much of that stuff as I can tolerate, and I've been taking 2 of those cartons every 4 hours, and I have put on weight, so I've put on like 8 or 9 pounds, something like that. But I just read a message from somebody from the care team at Mayo that said that more than 10 of those a day cause problems with the kidneys because that's too much protein to be passing through the system. Well, I thought, and I'm thinking, maybe that's the problem. Maybe there is some kind of a result of my kidneys overworking that is causing this pressure that results in the pain from consuming just water. But I imagine it will be also food in the near future. But maybe not. Maybe, like, what I'm hoping is I stop taking all of those nutrients and maybe I can start eating. And this is just, this is what I want. Just so much is just to start eating and start to have a real clear indication of moving in the direction of my well-being. Also, I'm going to see a specialized dentist on Monday that these folks see people who have had radiation in the mouth and in the throat, and so I get to talk to them and see what they think. At a point, somebody had recommended or suggested that maybe I had thrush again, because I had thrush while I was in treatment for the radiation, and they say that the thrush, you can see the thrush by there's a lot of little white spots in the mouth. Well, as much as I'm able to see inside my own mouth, I can't really see that there's any of those little white spots. So anyway, Monday afternoon there should be another update that I have for you, because I will have not consumed so many of those boxes of nutrients and gone to the oral specialist. So anyway, that's the update for now, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye.